The Viper V2 Pro. It is no surprise to any is out there as this mouse has been leaked high and low. We all know about it, right? But what you don't know about is the Techne take here, right? You know I'm gonna give you that raw consumer, user, gamer experience here. Not a company-driven review or anything, but I will be filling in a little bit more specs on this mouse than I do in most of my videos here. We're gonna be comparing it to the old Viper. Seeing is it worth that upgrade to the V2 Pro? Is it that mouse for you, or is it worth that $150 price tag? So jumping right into it, I received this package from Razer for the Pro. Well, I'm not the Pro by any means. The lightest, fastest now in your hands. And we pop this open, I got the mouse and I got a tennis ball. Razer, I don't get it. Why the heck did you send me fuzzy balls? They definitely smell good. Maybe that's why. But putting our balls away, I want to show you the package here. And again, let me get a little zoom on the camera. Hopefully you guys can pick it up. And just looking at some of these specs, you can see a lot of the differences. Right two side buttons removed, negative 2.9 grams. Razer Chroma RGB gone, negative 2.7 grams. Built-in side grips removed, negative 3.2 grams. And then the structural modifications, reducing 7.2 grams with a total reduction of 16 grams in the weight of this guy. Some other differences, micro and then to USB-C over here, and then the clicks going to the switches to the Gen 3 opticals. So right there, without wasting any of your time, you're seeing some of the differences in how they came up with this here. But before we dive deeper into the Razer Viper V2 Pro, a quick word from our sponsor, that being Corsair in the HS65 gaming headset they recently released. The Corsair HS65s are packing a punch at that mid-tier gaming headset level. First off, taking a look at these ear pads. You got that nice sports material out there, perforated holes inside for a nice, breathable, soft, plush comfort, even up on that headband. Looking at the build, you have metal reinforcements all the way over here into the brackets, up into the headband. Very solid, durable build right here. And as far as using the HS65, you can go straight 3.5 in just about any device, but you also have the Corsair sound card here, which you can go in there and dabble with your EQ and really play around with your sound. And as far as the sound on the Corsair HS65, these guys are packing 50mm drivers with a very exciting, potent sound. Let me tell you what, guys, I highly recommend you checking out the Corsair HS65 gaming headset. Links right down in the description. Now inside your box of the Viper V2 Pro, of course, you can get your mouse. It comes in white and then it also comes in black. You can get some grips for 1 and 2, and then your side, you can get your USB dongle, and it states Viper V2 Pro on it, so you're not gonna mix it up with your other ones. Every other mouse manufacturer out there, please take note of this and start doing this on every single your mouse, because I am always misplacing or inserting my dongle for the wrong product. I need my dongle to state what it is. And then you get your dongle extension with your cable right here, charging cable. It's not the best cable, so I mean, come on, we're using a wireless mouse. Who cares about the cable? By the way, tennis ball not included. And taking a look at the V2 Pro, looking at the dimensions, well, yeah, it's the same as the previous Viper. And if you like that, you're gonna love this. Now, putting your hand on the Viper, right? Whether this one or the V2 Pro, it definitely is a slimmer profile. Your hump's in the middle, bam, and it swings off right at the back right there. So it's definitely more geared towards that claw, that flicking and dipping type of play. Me personally, if I pull it down and want to bring it back into my palm, I kind of got to rest my arm down onto my desk. Rather than if you're playing up like that and resting up, it's always gonna be raised up right there, giving you that quicker gameplay to be able to flick and dip. Now, what I want to do again is pull out the old Viper and show you this, right? Looking at the core differences, well, you can pretty much see them right out the gate, right? The grips, they're gone. Flipping over to the bottom, now I do have glass feet on the bottom of mine, but looking at the bottom, you don't have that charging dock anymore, right? The feet on the bottom is complete up there, and then 2 separates up front. This is one thing I don't understand why Razer did this, right? You got this nice foot on the bottom, but up top, they left that gap up there. Why couldn't they make that 1 foot up top? That would have been nice. Now, I don't really feel any drag when I'm using it, but again, me personally, I just wish there was one up there to give you that continuous smooth motion. You do have USB-C up on the front right now. Before you had micro. Now you don't have a dongle storage on the new one, which you did on the old one. One other thing here that is a key difference in my opinion is the power button. Over here on the V2 Pro, you hold this power button down and then it powers up. You got a light indicator right on top there. On the old Viper, you have the actual power switch, which I honestly prefer because it's just click, it's on. This one, I gotta make sure I hold it down long enough, check the light, make sure, bam, that we are synced up. Now coming over to a few key differences as well that might be minor, these side buttons. Well, not really minor, because that was one of my biggest gripes on the original Viper. As you see, I have grips on mine to make them come out more. If you look at the stock buttons over here, it's pretty much flush with the mouse. I couldn't stand that because I always felt I had to reach for them. Hence the reason I have grips on them. Now on the V2 Pro, you can see, bam, look at them. They are poking out right there. You can even see them from this side. Look at that. You can actually see them. And when you use them, bam, you actually feel them. Awesome upgrade. I stinking love it. As far as texture of the V2 Pro here, it is very nice. It feels like a PBT cap, just like their PBT caps. If you've ever used their keyboards or anything, that's exactly what this feels like. You got that slight texture all the way around it. I absolutely love it. And I even tried the grips, but I preferred it regular just with the texture that's on it. Compared to the other one, a lot of people didn't like these grips on there. Me personally, I don't know. I kind of enjoyed them, you know what I mean? They were slightly grippy, but as far as the top of the Viper and the 1 and 2, that's exactly how this entire mouse feels going all the way around it. Now, one little minor thing, this is a minor thing that I actually noticed after using it. Take a look at the scroll wheel. On the original Viper, your finger can pretty much roll across it because the buttons kind of slide up right there. Bam, there's your scroll wheel. It's kind of continuous motion right there. Coming to the V2 Pro, it's up a little taller. It's more like a speed bump. Bam, and it goes over. Personal preference. Do you like it higher? Do you like it lower? Me personally, I really like it lower so I can just slide up to it. But again, you're not getting any accidental presses here. It's gonna stop. Okay, let me use my scroll wheel. Bam, and you're right there. Now, as far as I'm using the Gen 3 switches, are they any different? Well, they do feel a little bit tighter to me. Here's the original Viper. Now coming over to the V2 Pro. Now a quick comparison of both of them. Now right there, just hearing them, you can hear that this one sounds a little bit more thicker right there, a little fuller. That's not so much just the switches. Again, they do feel a little tighter for me, but again, I've used this Viper quite a bit, so that could be use time. This one I've been using for a few weeks here, so that could be that right there. Also, as far as the structural build of it, that can be implementing the sound difference as well. But again, out of the gate, they just feel a little tighter. They kind of feel like the Rocat switches or Rocket switches, if you guys have ever felt like those. And of course, one of the biggest differences that a lot of people are gonna like is that weight reduction. Putting the V2 Pro on here, we are getting 58 grams. Woo, it's nice and it is balanced top to bottom, front to back, guys. Perfectly balanced. I don't feel any extra weight anywhere on it. Now coming over to the original Viper, slapping on here, I do have my grips and I do have my glass skates on there. So let's give that a little bit of a break. We're coming in at 76 grams. Now, you all know me. I like heavier mice. I like up into that 70 to 80 grams. But clear as day, feeling this, being that difference, wow. Holy smokes, do you clear as day feel it. This mouse feels heavy compared to this mouse. Now, we've already seen quite a few differences, especially underneath the mouse and everything, right? But as far as your sensor, you're using now the Focus Pro 30K sensor. I mean, the sensor in the original Viper was fantastic. Just about all sensors in mice these days are fantastic. And I had top tier performance with both of these right here. Now, again, as far as your power button, that's also your DPI or profile cycle button, which you can save right on board of the mouse as far as your lift off, your DPI, all that stuff, bam, right on the mouse. Now, swinging to the top, y'all remember the original Viper, you had RGB on the back logo here. On the new one, you do not have any RGB. It's just painted black right there, if you can see, which is something I love. I've been stating since day one, like, yo, RGB is just fluff, right? Yo, it's over my palm. I'm not seeing it anyways. Why do we have it on there? But more importantly, why are we being forced to pay for it, you know? Now, don't get me wrong. RGB sells, and there's mice with really awesome RGB. It's cool. Like I've always stated, it's a fluff feature, right? Again, we love it, but it's not necessarily necessary. And that's what I love about this mouse. It's the core. It's what you need right out the gate, and that's what it's doing. Now, one thing that's kind of like, why? But then it's like, yes. That is, again, the bottom of the original Viper, being able to use that dock. I absolutely loved it. Bam, you slapped it on there. It looked cool on your desk, and it's always charged. I love that. But as you all caught in my original video, I did not like that cutout. I'm a tighter gripper, a firmer presser, and I would feel that drag in between pain right there of those feet and then at a cutout. I would feel that and I would hear it and I could not stand it. But again, I love the feature and I love the tech packed into that. Now you get 70 hours of battery with this, so that's plenty of time. Just charge it when you're not using it, and it's USB-C right there. But again, I did really like that dock. Now I think one of the main questions with the Viper V2 Pro here, is it worth that price tag of 150 bucks, right? There's not really much in this, right? You don't have Bluetooth, you don't have RGB, there's really no fluff here. You're getting a really quality product out of the gate as far as performance. And that's how you need to look at it right there, right? Yeah, there's no fluff in it, but as far as that core performance, you're getting it. I mean, it's a solid product. It's doing what it's supposed to do top notch. Don't get me wrong, $150 for a mouse is expensive. I think they're getting a little taste of that Logitech G Pro X $150, right? They saw them do it, so hey, why can't we do it? You know what I mean? They're gonna pay it. Let's do it. And again, yes, it's expensive, but it is a fantastic product and you're gonna love it. I can't get it off my desk. And I know a question a lot of you will be asking here, hey man, should I go with the Viper V2 Pro or the Logitech G Pro X? Well, you're gonna have to subscribe and hit the bell because the following video, I will be talking about that in a deep dive, also including some other mice. So again, make sure to stay tuned.